The rain hammered against the window like it was trying to break in, mirroring the shatter in my chest as I watched Jasper's thumb hover over send on his phone. "Ezra, it's not what it looks like," he whispered, but his voice cracked like cheap thunder. And in that split second, I knew. Our 5 years, our promises etched in late-night diner booths and rooftop confessions under New York stars, were dissolving into pixels. I grabbed Milo, our golden retriever pup, his warm fur the only anchor in the storm, and bolted for the door, leaving Jasper's pleas echoing hollow in the hallway. That was 6 months ago, but the wound still bled fresh every dawn when his text lit up my screen. "Morning, handsome."
Milo peak?
Missed that goofy grin, as if a snapshot of our shared heartbeat could stitch back the love he'd traded for viral fame and a girl's filtered smile. Brooklyn felt like a graveyard of what-ifs that first week after the blowout. I'd crashed on my sister's couch in Park Slope, Milo curled at my feet like a furry therapist, his snores the only sound louder than my sobs. Sarah, bless her, with her no-nonsense nurse's scrubs and endless coffee runs, kept shoving tissues and takeout Thai at me, muttering, "Men are trashy, especially the ones who ghost their own damn dog for likes." She wasn't wrong. Jasper had always been the dreamer, the one sketching graphic novels in our tiny Bushwick loft while I grounded us with my barista gig at that overpriced Williamsburg spot. He was fire. I was the steady flame keeping it from burning out. But TikTok? That app was his poison ivy, creeping in slow during the pandemic lockdowns. What started as silly dance challenges with me, Milo photobombing our awkward twerks, morphed into solo thirst traps, collabs with influencers, and then her, Riley Voss, the 22-year-old aspiring singer from LA, all sun-kissed waves and lip syncs that made the algorithm drool. I'd scroll through their duets at 2 a.m., heart-twisting as comments flooded in. "You two are goals. When's the wedding?" Goals, right? While I was grinding double shifts to pay for his art supplies, he was building a fantasy across state lines. The fight replayed in my head like a bad loop. Me coming home early from a catering side hustle, drenched from the October drizzle, only to find him on the couch, phone angled just so for the perfect ring light glow. Milo was chewing a sock in the corner, oblivious. Jasper's laugh, that deep, rumbling thing that used to vibrate through me like bass at a queer club night, bounced off the walls as he whispered into the screen, "Babe, you're killing me with that outfit." Babe, not me. Her. I froze in the doorway, takeout bag slipping from my fingers, pad thai splattering like abstract art on the rug. "Jasp." My voice was a ghost. He jolted, fumbling the phone face down, but not before I caught the glimpse of her. Riley, blowing a kiss in some sun-drenched bedroom that screamed SoCal privilege. "It's nothing, easy. Just a collab. Views, you know?" He stood, arms out like I was a spooked horse, but his eyes darted to the phone like it held state secrets. Milo trotted over, tail wagging, dropping the sock at my feet as if to say, "Fix this, Dad." "Collab? You've been collabing for weeks. Late nights, secret DMs. And now, babe?" The words clawed out, raw and accusatory. I scooped Milo up, his weight a shield against the hurt blooming hot in my throat. Jasper's face crumpled, that boyish charm cracking under guilt. "I love you, Ezra. This is just fun. Escapism. The world's been shit. This makes me feel alive. Alive. As if our mornings tangled in sheets. His sketches of us as superheroes, Milo's sloppy kisses weren't enough life. As if I wasn't fighting every day to keep us afloat in this city that chews up dreamers and spits out husks. By midnight, the loft was a battlefield of hurled sketchbooks and shattered mugs. "Go then?" I spat, packing a duffel with trembling hands. "Chase your pixels." But Milo's mine. We got him together, remember? Your allergy meds and my vet runs. Jasper nodded, tears streaking his stubble. But there was relief in his slump too. A coward's exhale. I slammed the door on his "Wait, Ezra," and stumbled into the elevator, Milo whining in my arms. The descent felt eternal, like falling through the subway tunnels of my unraveling life. Sarah's place became our bunker. Her one bedroom was a pastel explosion of thrift store finds and essential oils, a far cry from Jasper's minimalist chaos. Milo adapted quick, claiming her throw pillows as his throne, but I paced like a caged wolf, phone buzzing with Jasper's barrage. I'm sorry. Let's talk. Milo, okay. By day 3, the apologies dried up, replaced by a single plea. Send a pic of the little man? Need my daily dose. I should have blocked him. Ghosted the ghoster. But Milo, God. That pup with his floppy ears and eyes like melted chocolate. Tugged at something primal. We'd found him at a rescue in Queens. A scrawny 8-week-old dumped in a cardboard box. Jasper named him after his favorite jazz cat, Miles Davis, but I called him Milo for short, because he fit in my palm like a promise. Those first nights, Jasper and I took shifts bottle feeding him, our exhaustion melting into whispered, I love yous, under the glow of a lava lamp. Milo was our miracle, the furred thread binding our frayed edges. So I caved, snapped a shot of Milo mid-yawn on Sarah's balcony, city skyline hazy behind him, and hit send. Jasper's reply was instant. He's grown. Miss you both. Red heart both. As if I were an afterthought tacked on for the dog. Weeks blurred into a masochistic routine. I'd wake to his 7 a.m. ping, Milo Monday? And oblige, framing shots to exclude the shadows under my eyes, the half-empty coffee mugs stained with regret. In return, he'd drop breadcrumbs. A voice note of him humming our song, At Last by Etta James, or a screenshot of Riley's latest post, her arm linked with some other influencers. No Jasper in sight. Crumbs, not closure. Thanksgiving loomed like a bad omen. Sarah dragged me to her firm's potluck in Midtown, a sterile office festooned with paper turkeys and forced cheer. I left Milo with the neighbor, a sweet retiree named Mrs. Kowalski who baked him peanut butter treats. My phone stayed silent until dessert. Pumpkin pie a la mode. When it vibrated, turkey alone? Milo get the wishbone? Beak? I stepped into the coat closet for privacy. The air thick with wool and mothballs. Snapped Milo from earlier, gnawing a rawhide. He's the king of the feast. I typed, thumb hesitating over send. Why was I still feeding this beast? Because blocking him meant erasing Jasper entirely. And damn it, I wasn't ready to bury the good parts. The nights he'd traced my tattoos. A rainbow phoenix on my ribcage, inked after coming out at 19. Whispering, you're my fire, easy. The way he'd surprise me with falafel from that hole in the wall in Astoria. Knowing it was my comfort food after bad shifts. Sent. His response. Beautiful. Like his dad. My stomach flipped. A traitorous spark in the ashes. That night, buzzed on spiked eggnog, I scrolled his profile. Jasper's feed was a highlight reel of reinvention. Gym selfies, art drops at pop-up galleries in Chelsea, captions dripping with new chapter. Riley was there too but faded, a collab here, a tag story there. No more babe. Had he burned that bridge too? Or was I just projecting my own wreckage? December hit like a freight train, Christmas lights twinkling mockingly from brownstones. I splurged on a tiny tree for Sarah's place, Milo batting at the ornaments like they owed him money. Jasper's texts evolved. Milo in a Santa hat? Please? I caved again, dressing the pup in a thrift store find, his expression pure, why me? Gold. The photo went viral on my private Insta, friends flooding comments with hard eyes, but Jasper's DM was private, intimate. This hurts so good. Remember our first Christmas? You in that ugly sweater. I did, vivid as a fresh bruise. We'd eloped to City Hall on a whim. No rings, just vows scribbled on napkins from a deli. Then back to the loft for spiked hot cocoa and Milo's first snowflake chase in McCarran Park. Jasper had sketched us then. 3 silhouettes against the blizzard, unbreakable. My reply slipped out unfiltered. Yeah. Remember when promises meant something? Dots danced for an eternity. Then, they still do. Can we talk? Coffee? For Milo. For Milo. Always the excuse. But the hook sank deep and I reeled myself in. We met at our old spot, the Beanery in Greenpoint, a no-frills joint with mismatched mugs and baristas who knew our orders by heart. Snow dusted the sidewalks, holiday bustle a chaotic ballet around us. Jasper arrived late, bundled in that wool peacoat I'd gifted him 2 winters back, hair longer now, curling at the collar like he was auditioning for a rom-com. He looked good, too good, eyes lighting up at the sight of me, then dimming with the weight of unsaid sins. He slid into the booth, gloves still on like armor. Milo wasn't there, Mrs. K again, but his absence hung heavy. You look tired. In a hot way. I snorted, stirring my black coffee. Flattery's your love language now?
Spill, jasp.
Why the summon? He fidgeted, tracing the tables would grain. Riley. It was stupid. A high. The attention, the rush. She flew out for a weekend videos parties. I thought it was harmless, but it snowballed. I hurt you. I know. Harmless. The word tasted like ash. You called her babe while I was out slinging lattes for us. You traded our life for a filter. Guilt etched lines around his mouth. I panicked. The city, the pressure, my book stalled. Gigs drying up. TikTok felt like a lifeline. But it wasn't you. Never you. His hand inched across the table, stopping short of mine. I miss us. Milo. The chaos. I pulled back, heart a war drum. Milo's fine. Thriving even. But us? You shattered that, Jasper. One viral dance doesn't rebuild trust. The barista dropped off his usual oat milk latte with cinnamon, and he stared into it like a crystal ball. What if we start small? Co-parent Milo. Walks in the park, like old times. Co-parent. The term landed like a gut punch, reducing our epic love to custody logistics. But beneath the anger, a flicker, hope, desperation. I nodded, throat tight. One walk. Saturday. Prospect Park. Bring treats. His smile broke through. Tentative sun after storm. Deal. And easy? Thank you for the pics. They're my lifeline now. Saturday dawned crisp. The kind of winter blue that makes New York feel infinite. I leashed Milo early. His excitement a whirlwind of tail wags and leaps. Jasper waited by the Grand Army Plaza arch, 2 steaming cups in hand. A paper bag of pup biscuits dangling from his wrist. He looked nervous, boyish, the artist I'd fallen for at that queer-lit reading in the village 5 years prior. His poetry about lost boys hitting too close to home. Milo launched at him, licks and nuzzles erasing months in seconds. Jasper laughed, that sound I'd craved like oxygen, dropping to his knees in the frosted grass. Hey, buddy, Daddy's missed you. Daddy. The word stung, but seeing them, fur and fingers tangled in reunion, softened the edges. We walked the long meadow loop, Milo darting after squirrels, Jasper and I orbiting in awkward silence. He broke it first. Books progressing. Got an agent bite on that graphic novel about us, the one with the phoenix and the storm chaser. Past tense, but laced with longing. Proud of you, I said, meaning it despite the ache. Always was. Conversation flowed then, halting at first, work gripes, Sarah's latest blind date disaster. Then deeper, skirting the chasm. I blocked Riley, he admitted by the boathouse, benches slick with melt. Deleted the app. It was poison easy. Made me forget what real connection feels like. I whistled for Milo, who bounded back with a stick trophy. Real connection? Like begging for dog pics from your ex while you chase skirts. He winced. Skirt? She was experimental. But it wasn't about gender. It was escape. From me. From us cracking under the weight. Cracking. Yeah. The unspoken. My coming out scars. His imposter syndrome in a cutthroat art scene. The city's relentless grind amplifying every fault line. We'd patched them with humor, with Milo, with nights lost in each other's arms. But TikTok pried them wide. Experimental, I echoed, bitter. While I was all in. Gay as the day is long, Jasp. You knew that. I know. His voice cracked. And I love that about you. Loved. Love. He reached for my hand, and I let him just for a beat. Calluses from pencils against my barista burns, familiar as breath. Milo flopped between us, panting, forcing space. We laughed, tension ebbing like tide. By loop's end, plans tumbled out. Another walk, then maybe dinner. Neutral ground. For Milo, we chorused, but our eyes said more. January thawed into tentative bridges. Walks became weekly rituals, Prospect. Then Domino Park by the Williamsburg Bridge, Milo our furry chaperone. Jasper shared sketches over takeout falafel, the graphic novel evolving. Our story, Phoenix rising from digital ashes. I critique, sharp but kind, the old rhythm resurfacing. One night, after a brutal shift, holiday rush leaving me raw, he showed up at Sarah's door unannounced, Milo in tow from an impromptu playdate. He missed you, Jasper said. But his eyes lingered on me, soft with unspoken pleas. Sarah arched a brow from the kitchen, mouthing careful, but I waved her off. We ended up on the fire escape, city hum below, Milo snoring inside. Jasper pulled a flask, cheap whiskey, our vice, and passed it. To second acts, he toasted. I sipped, fire blooming warm. To not fucking them up. Lips met then, hesitant, tasting of regret and redemption. Not fireworks, but embers, steady, promising. We didn't go further. Boundaries were gospel now. But in his kiss I tasted possibility. February's chill bit harder, mirroring the frost creeping back. Jasper's agent called with news. A publisher interested, but revisions needed, tight deadline, cross-country meetings. LA of all places. Just a week, he assured over pierogies at Sarah's. Video calls with Milo. Promise. Promise. The words soured on my tongue, but I nodded. Trust was a muscle, atrophied but flexing. He left on a red-eye, airport selfie with Milo. Safe skies, pups. Texts flowed steady at first, hotel views of palm trees, sketch updates, miss your voice. Then, midweek, radio silence. 24 hours. 36. Panic clawed in. I paced Sarah's living room, Milo shadowing my heels. Check his Insta, she urged, wine glass in hand. Stories. Blank. But a tagged post from a gallery opening, Jasper, sharp in a blazer, arm slung casual around a brunette curator. Caption, LA Nights with the Muse. Art Life. Muse. My gut twisted. Dialed him, voicemail. Where are you? 48 hours. A text. Swamped. Sorry.
Milo vid.
Vid. Not me. I fired back. Fuck your vid. We're done playing house. His call came at 3 a.m., voice slurry with exhaustion or evasion. I couldn't tell. Easy, it's not. Save it. Again, LA's got you experimenting solo this time. Milo whined from the bed, sensing the quake. It's work. Pure. The curator's pitching a series. But yeah, drinks happened. Nothing more. Pause. Heavy. I get scared. Okay? Of us being real again. What if I break it worse? Scared. The excuse that freed him last time. Then stay broken alone, Jasp. Milo's not a bridge back to me. I hung up, blocking the flood of follow-ups. Milo nosed my hand, and I buried my face in his fur, sobs muffled. Sarah found me at dawn, brewing tea without a word. You deserve the fairy tale, not the remix. Spring teased early, cherry blossoms defiant in Fort Greene. I threw myself into routines. Longer shifts, a pottery class at the rec center, Milo and I logging miles along the Gowanus Canal. Friends rallied, queer book club brunches, drag nights at Metropolitan, reminding me life pulsed beyond one man's orbit. Jasper's silence stretched, a mercy wound. Then, mid-April, a package. No return address, but I knew. Inside, the graphic novel, bound proofs hot off the press. Phoenix Rising, a love in fragments. Dedication. For Ezra, my storm. And Milo, our anchor. Tears blurred the pages. Our story, raw and unflinching. The betrayal chapter hit like shrapnel. Jasper's digital dalliance drawn as a siren song pulling him under. Ezra as the lighthouse flickering alone. Redemption arc tentative. Open-ended. A note slipped out. Read it. Then decide. I'm in the city. One last walk? No strings. I read through the night. Milo at my feet. Heart a battlefield. By morning, resolve hardened. Not forgiveness, but finality. We met at the Brooklyn Bridge, dawn gilding the cable's gold. Jasper waited midway, sketchpad under arm, Milo on a double leash I'd insisted on. He looked wrecked, bags under eyes, stubble unchecked. You came. For closure. I unclipped Milo's lead, letting him bolt between us. The book is beautiful, honest, but honesty doesn't erase pain. Jasper nodded, wind whipping his hair. I know. Therapy's helping, unpacked the fear, the chasing validation. Riley was a symptom, not the disease. But losing you? That's the cure I didn't want. We walked the span, Manhattan looming like judgment. Milo panted happily, oblivious to the gravity. I can't go back, I said finally, voice steady. Not as we were. But forward, maybe friends, co-dads to this beast. His laugh was bittersweet. I'd like that, more than crumbs. At the Manhattan side we parted, hug brief, charged with ghosts. Daily pick still? He teased, eyes hopeful. I smirked, clipping Milo close. Group chat. With Sarah. No more secrets. As I ferried back to Brooklyn, Milo dozing on my lap, the skyline blurred through tears. Not of loss, but release. Jasper had left for a girl on TikTok, begged for pictures of our pet. But in the end, he'd returned fragments of himself. Not whole, but enough to let me rebuild. Summer bloomed fierce, humidity thick as unspoken truths. The group chat buzzed. Milo's beach days at Coney, Jasper's book tour stops, my promotion to shift lead with benefits. Laughter crept in, tentative threads weaving new normal. One August eve, rooftop party in Bushwick, old loft now sublet, but the building's communal space a neutral zone. Jasper showed with a six-pack graphic novel swag in tow. We clinked bottles under string lights, Milo crashing the charcuterie board. To fragments, he toasted, our knees brushing accidental on purpose. To rising, I countered, Phoenix ink peeking from my sleeve. No grand reunion, no cinematic kiss. Just two men, scarred and surviving, sharing space in a city that never sleeps on second chances. Milo sprawled between tail-thumping approval. And in that quiet, human grace, I found my happy. Not ending, but unfolding.